There are mainly four types of tissues are present in our body. What are the four types of tissue? There is epithelial tissue, nervous tissue, muscular tissue, and connective tissue. These are the four main types of tissue present in our body. So today we will discuss only this epithelial tissue, and other tissues we will discuss later on. Okay. So what is epithelium? Epithelium, surface of the body, inner and outer surface, and inner surfaces of tubular structures within the body are covered by a layer of cells that rest on the basement membrane, and such a covering layer is called the epithelium. Okay, so where it is present? Silence everyone. কি হয়েছে, কিছু প্রবলেম হয়েছে? Don't talk among yourselves. Okay? Listen carefully. So, where it is present? On the inner and outer surfaces of the body, mainly over the surfaces. Okay? And inner surfaces of the tubular structure, like the gastrointestinal tract or urinary tract, tubular structures are present. Inner lining of them, it is known as the mucosa mainly. Okay, so that is also lined by epithelium. So epithelium is a basic tissue of body that consists of tightly adhered cells called the epithelial cells. What are the features of the epithelium? Epithelium consists of layers of cells that cover the body surfaces. It is an avascular structure and it receives nutrition by diffusion. Avascular means it does not have any blood supply. Generally, through blood we get the nutrition or we do the excretion portion. So as it does not have any blood supply, so it is getting its nutrition by diffusion. Okay. So and epithelial cells, they rest on the basement membrane. Epithelial cells show various types of junctions with adjacent cells and the basement membrane, like those tight junction, desmosomes, hemidesmosomes. These junctional complexes you have read. So these are present in between two adjacent cells and along with the basement membrane. Epithelial cells isolate the deeper structures from the surface environment. Epithelial cells show surface modification as per the functional need. For example, microvilli are present in intestine to increase the absorptive surface area. Epithelial cells undergo mitosis and can regenerate the damaged portion. Okay, so these are one function of the epithelial cells. These are the functions. They perform various functions based on their location. Protection, protect deeper structures. For example, in the skin, epithelium is called the epidermis and they protect the deeper structures from external environment. Okay, so this is function of skin, protection to the deeper structure. Next is it provides a barrier, acts as a barrier, mechanical barrier, and may permit selective substances to cross it. For example, epidermis prevents entry of viruses, epidermis of the skin, but they allows entry of some lipid soluble drugs like the ointments. Okay. Now, it also helps in absorption. For example, in intestine, epithelium absorbs the nutrients from the digested food. Now, secretion or excretion in salivary gland, epithelium is involved in saliva secretion. Okay, and sensory perception. There are different sensory nerve endings, and they are taking the sensory signals. Receive sensory signals from external environment. For example, epithelium of the tongue, they have taste buds and they are carrying the taste sensation, are involved in perception of taste sensation. Okay. Now we go to the epithelial cells. Epithelial cells have different size and shape according to the location and need of their functions. So cells are of three basic types: squamous cells or flat cells, cuboidal cells, and columnar cells. So in section, the epithelial cells in longitudinal section, you can see it as a squamous, cuboidal or columnar. But on surface view, you see the epithelium from surface, from outside, all of these cells are looking polygonal in shape. Okay, polygonal and or irregular in shape. So see here, this is a section through the epithelium. You can see the cells here. The cells are looking columnar. Okay, width is height is more than the width, and nuclei are elongated, vertically elongated. Different cell organelles are present. This is basal portion of the cell. Basal portion are lying over the basement membrane, and here is the apical portion. Apical portion has different secretory vesicles, Golgi apparatus, like this. Okay. So the basal surface remain in contact with the basal lamina or deeper cells of the epithelium. Apical surface of epithelial cells faces the external environment in skin or luminal content in the tubular structures, or may be attached with superficial epithelial cells. Lateral surfaces of epithelial cell form the junctional complexes with adjacent epithelial cells. Okay. So now we will classify the epithelium. Okay, according to the number of layers present in the epithelium and according to the shape of the cells. So layers of the epithelial cells and shape of the cells facing towards the free surface of the epithelium. This helps in classification of the epithelium. So epithelium is divided into three main types. Simple epithelium. Here only single layer of cell is present. Stratified epithelium, two or more layers of cells are present. Pseudostratified epithelium, one layer of cells resting on basal lamina, and but some of these cells do not extend up to the free surface of the epithelium. That means nuclei are lying in different planes. So it looks like it has multiple layers, but all the cells are reaching up to the basement membrane and only single layer of cells are present. Pseudo stratified. Pseudo means false. Okay. So it is falsely looking like stratified epithelium, but actually it is a simple epithelium because only single layer of cell is present. Okay, understood? That's why the name is given pseudo-stratified. Why it is called pseudo-stratified? It can be asked in your viva. Okay. So this is the classification. Simple epithelium, single layer thick. It is again of three types according to the shape of the cell. Simple squamous epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, simple columnar epithelium. Another is pseudostratified epithelium. Pseudostratified epithelium is generally columnar. Okay, pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Then we go to the stratified epithelium. It is multi-layered epithelium. It is again divided into three types: stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar. Stratified squamous is again of two types: keratinized and non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, understood? Next, another special type of epithelium is present in our body, that is transitional epithelium. This is also known as urothelium. It is present in our urinary tract, the calyces of our kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, urethra, part of the urethra. This transitional epithelium is present. Okay. So we will discuss this individual epithelium in details. First is simple epithelium, single layer of cells resting on basal lamina, and it is classified based on shape of cells. Simple squamous epithelium composed of flat cells. Simple cuboidal epithelium composed of cells with equal height and width. Cuboidal means equal height and width. And simple columnar epithelium composed of cells with more height than the width. Next, simple squamous epithelium. Single layer of flattened squamous or flat cells. They are polygonal on surface view. So cells have thin layer of cytoplasm stained with eosine. So we generally see here the hematoxylin eosine stained slides. Okay. So hematoxylin is violet in color and it will stain the nucleus. So nucleus will appear violet and eosine will stain the cytoplasm and it will appear pink in color. Okay. So and only in this microscopic view you generally see the low power view, that is 10x view. Okay. So in low power view you can only appreciate the nucleus properly. So for differentiation of different epithelium you see the shape of the nuclei. For squamous epithelium you see the flat cell, horizontally flattened nucleus. For cuboidal epithelium always see the rounded nuclei. Okay. Rounded nuclei and it is located near the middle of the cell. And for the columnar epithelium the nuclei will be elongated vertically and they are mainly placed near the basal region in most of the cases. Okay. And the cell outline, it is not outline cannot be seen properly in all the epitheliums, but in some slides you can see it properly. Okay. So mainly you identify according to the shape of the nuclei and it is very much prominent violet dot like structure nuclei. Okay. So identification feature, top view or free surface apical surface of simple squamous epithelial cell is irregular or polygonal, and section of cell it looks similar to a half fried egg, poached egg. Okay, consider nucleus as the yolk and cytoplasm as the egg white. See here, this is a simple squamous epithelium. On surface view, the cells are polygonal in shape, and here you can see the sectional view. Okay, sectional view, the cells are flattened, and in the middle there is a flattened nuclei, horizontally flattened nuclei. And see the cells are lying over this pink line, this pink layer, that is the basement membrane or basal lamina. Okay. And this simple squamous epithelium you can see in lung alveoli. See here, this is a section through the lung alveoli. These flat cells are the squamous cell forming the lining of the alveoli, and you can see these violet dots. These are representing the nuclei. Okay, nuclei of the cell. And this is endothelium of a blood vessels. The inner lining of the blood vessel is known as endothelium. That is also formed by flattened cells, and you can see horizontally flattened nuclei. Okay, understood? So what are the locations? Locations are very important. So you write it down in your copy. Simple squamous epithelium, lung alveoli. We have slides of lung alveoli here. You have to see those. Okay. Everyone take out your copy and write it down. Simple squamous epithelium. Example is lung alveoli. Okay, everyone completed? Okay, so but in our slide multiple layers are superimposed with each other. That's why it may look like multiple cells are present, but actually the lining epithelium of alveoli is simple squamous epithelium. Okay, during slide preparation the overlapping generally occurs. Okay. So locations are lining epithelium of lung alveoli, endothelium, that is lining epithelium of blood and lymphatic vessels, endocardium, that is lining epithelium of heart, mesothelium, that is lining epithelium of serous cavities of the body like pericardium, peritoneum and pleura, and parietal cells of Bowman's capsule and certain parts of nephron in kidney like ansa nephroni or leukophili. These are the locations where the simple squamous epithelium you can get. Okay. Now this is a section of kidney. Okay, this is mainly section through the glomerulus. Here is the glomerular plexus, and this white space around the glomerulus, this is Bowman's space, and this lining is the Bowman's capsule. So here you can see the flat cells, squamous cells. This is visceral layer surrounding the glomerulus, and outside is a parietal layer. Parietal layer of the Bowman's capsule is lined by simple squamous epithelium. You can see the flat cells with elongated nucleus. Okay, here are the nucleus, you can say like this. Understood? So simple squamous epithelium is clear. Now, what are the functions of simple squamous epithelium? All, as the cells are very thin, in simple squamous epithelium, small molecules can easily cross the epithelium. Thus, it helps in rapid transport of substances, diffusion of gases, and filtration of fluid. In lung alveoli, helps in diffusion of gases. In kidney, it helps in filtration of fluid. In different areas, helps in transport of substances. Okay. Next, we go to simple cuboidal epithelium. Single layer of cuboidal cells having equal width and height is present. Nuclei is rounded. This is very important. Shape of nuclei. For squamous, it is flattened, horizontally flattened nuclei, and for cuboidal, it is rounded nuclei. Okay, so nuclei is rounded, placed centrally in the cells. As width of cells is equal, their nuclei are seen to be equally placed in single row. Cytoplasm, cuboidal cells contain eosinophilic cytoplasm, and cells are polygonal or hexagonal when seen from the free surface. Okay. So what are the locations? Here we have slides of thyroid follicles. So you write it down. Simple cuboidal epithelium. Example is thyroid follicle, lining epithelium of thyroid follicle. Simple cuboidal epithelium, lining, example is lining epithelium of thyroid follicle. See here, these are the thyroid follicles containing the thyroglobulin. Pink material is the thyroglobulin. In one slide, their thyroglobulin is present, and that pink material is present, but in one slide, it has been washed out. Okay, so it will look empty. So it will look empty, white rounded structures. And lining epithelium, you can see these cuboidal cells with rounded nuclei. Mainly this prominent rounded nuclei you have to see in the slide. Okay, and another, this is covering of ovary, germinal epithelium is also example of this cuboidal epithelium. This is intercalated duct of salivary gland, also lined by cuboidal epithelium. So you can see in this sectional view, cells have equal height and width and centrally placed rounded nuclei. On surface view, cells are looking polygonal. So these are the locations where you can get the simple cuboidal epithelium. All the location you need to know, but remember 2 to 3 for your theory paper, but all the location you will need for your MCQs. Okay, simple squamous epithelium is present, 3 options, then accept which one where it is not present, like this. Okay, so you read all the examples, but for long question you can write 2 and 3 like this. So simple cuboidal epithelium, lining epithelium of thyroid glands, smaller ducts of exocrine glands, epithelium covering the ovary called the germinal epithelium, choroid plexuses which produces the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, inner surface of lens of eyeball, pigmented cell layer of the retina, ducts of Bartholin gland, some part of tubules in the kidney, distal convoluted tubule, proximal convoluted tubule, like this. Okay. What are the functions of the simple cuboidal epithelium? Cuboidal epithelium is mainly involved in transport, absorption and excretion, synthesis and secretion of the substances. Okay. Absorption, excretion occurs in kidney like the PCT, DCT, like this. And simple cuboidal epithelium cytoplasm, they have a machinery for protein synthesis but does not have well developed Golgi apparatus for storage of synthesized proteins and their substances. In thyroid gland also, these cuboidal cells, they produce the thyroid hormone and they store it within the thyroglobulin. When there is need in our body for this thyroid hormone, they will endocytose the thyroglobulin and release the hormone into the blood. Okay, like this cuboidal epithelium is functioning in thyroid gland. So see here, this is simple cuboidal epithelium, ducts of salivary gland. You have to note this rounded nuclei. Okay, duct. This is lumen of the duct of salivary gland. Round centrally placed nuclei and single layer of cuboidal cells in sectional view. Next we go to simple columnar epithelium. Here single layer of columnar cells having more height than their width. Here this is on surface view it is polygonal, and in sectional view see height of the cell is more than the width, and there is one elongated nuclei, vertically elongated nuclei placed near the middle or towards the basal region. Also the cells are lying over the basement membrane. Okay, pink line is the basement membrane. So simple columnar epithelium you will see in fallopian tube. Okay, this is a fold of the fallopian tube. Lining epithelium you can see the columnar cells and the vertically elongated nuclei. These are the nuclei. The nuclei you have to note. And also in fallopian tube you can see the cilia. On the apical region of the cells there is presence of cilia. There is a light pink layer. You can see here, that is the layer of the cilia. Okay, they are very fine longitudinal cilia. And also simple columnar epithelium is present in stomach. Okay, both of the slides we have. You see, write down simple columnar epithelium, stomach, and the fallopian tube. Write it down. And in the fallopian tube, you can also see the cilia, and in stomach, you can see the microvilli. So these you can see there is multiple infoldings. These are forming the gastric pits. Okay, gastric pits are lined by this columnar epithelium. You can see the elongated cells with the elongated nuclei. Here the nuclei are lying in the basal region. Okay, understood? So in stomach slide and fallopian tube slide, you have to see the columnar epithelium. So single layer of columnar cells have more height than their width. Cytoplasm is abundant. Cytoplasm as involved in synthesis and storage of metabolites. Nuclei of the columnar cells are oval and elongated, usually placed in basal region of the cells. See, this is simple columnar epithelium. It's a small intestine. Okay. See, these are the elongated nuclei you have to note. And in small intestine, microvilli are present. See here, a deep pink colored layer is present. Small. These are the microvilli. Okay, projection from the cell membrane. Microvilli helps in increasing the surface area for absorption in the intestine. So, simple columnar epithelium takes stain according to the presence of cell organelles. Apical eosinophilia is there. Well developed apical eosinophilia is present because of well developed Golgi apparatus, presence of secretory granules. So, apical region stained with eosin or pink color. Basal basophilia is present. Basophilia means they are violet dominant. Basal portion nucleus is present, so it will look like violet in color. Well developed round endoplasmic reticulum, basal portion of the cell, so basal region stained with hematoxylin or violet in color. Foamy appearance or empty appearance, mucus cells. Mucus is generally washed out during the tissue preparation, during the slide preparation. That's why it gives a foamy appearance or empty look. Okay. So mucus cells, goblet cells are present in our intestine. These are the mucus cells, and other mucus cells are present in different areas of our body. So cells, mucus cells contain carbohydrates. These are mucus or glycogen or lipids in the cytoplasm. Substances are lost in the process of slide preparation and gives foamy appearance or empty cytoplasm. Next, the surface modification. What are the surface modification present in this columnar epithelium? These are cilia. Cilia is present in fallopian tube. Lining epithelium shows presence of cilia. Simple ciliated columnar epithelium. Next is microvilli. Microvilli is present in gastrointestinal tract, bile duct and gallbladder. There is the lining epithelium is simple columnar. Here is two types of epithelium is said, striated border and brass border. In striated border, these microvilli are arranged in regular manner, and in brass border, the microvilli are irregularly arranged. Okay, so this arrangement you can see under high power of microscopy, light microscopy, high power view. Okay. This is asked in your Viva. What is striated border? What is brass border? Okay. Brass border, irregularly arranged microvilli, and striated border, regularly arranged microvilli. Okay. So what are the locations of simple columnar epithelium? Lining epithelium of stomach, intestine, gallbladder, lining epithelium of uterus. Simple ciliated columnar epithelium is seen in fallopian tube, central canal of spinal cord, ventricles of the brain, some part of respiratory tract, efferent ducts of testes, part of middle ear, eustachian or auditory tube, and ventricles of the brain. All these are locations of ciliated columnar, simple ciliated columnar epithelium. What are the functions? Secretory function, secretion of enzyme and mucus in the intestine. Absorptive function, absorption of nutrients in the intestine. Ciliary beads, propulsion of mucus in respiratory tract and ova in fallopian tube. Microvilli help to increase the absorptive surface area of the cells in gallbladder and intestine. Okay, so these are the functions of simple columnar epithelium. So these are the three divisions of simple epithelium: single layer, thick; simple squamous epithelium, flat cell, flat nuclei. Example is endothelium, mesothelium, parietal cells of Bowman's capsule. Simple cuboidal epithelium, there is cuboidal cells with rounded nuclei. Example is follicular cells of thyroid gland, renal tubule, ovarian epithelium. And simple columnar epithelium, it has tall cells with elongated nuclei. Examples are stomach, intestine, gallbladder and uterus. Okay. Next we go, so simple epithelium we have completed. Its example, its characteristic features, function, all we have completed. Next we go to pseudo-stratified epithelium. Cells that rest on basal lamina and only some of these cells reach up to the free surface of the epithelium. It is not a true stratified epithelium. That's why the name is given pseudo-stratified. And differential height of cells, their nuclei lie at different levels and form two or more rows of nuclei. That's why it looks like a stratified epithelium. Different layers of nuclei because height of the cells are not equal. How will you identification feature? Epithelium has small cuboidal basal cells that divide mitotically and replace other cells of the epithelium. Fully matured cells are columnar and reach up to the free surface. Hence, it is called pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. Okay, understood? See here, this is the basement membrane. All the cells are reaching up to the basement membrane, and see the heights of the cells are different. These are some basal cells. These small cells located near the basement membrane, these are basal cells. Okay, their nuclei are lying near the basal region, And the elongated cells, here also nucleus are present at different levels. So nucleus are forming different rows, multiple rows of nucleus are present. But on surface view, cells are polygonal. And this is pseudostratified columnar cells with cilia that is present in our respiratory epithelium, that is in trachea, okay, and large bronchi. And here one mucus cell has been shown, goblet cell. Goblet cell is present in intestine, gastrointestinal tract, and also in this respiratory tract. Okay, empty looking area. Here mucus was present and that was washed out during tissue processing. So there is empty loop. Here this is one ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelium in respiratory tract. It will look like this. Nucleus are present in multiple layers. Elongated cells you can see, some are the basal cells, some are reaching up to the surface. Empty looking areas are the goblet cells, and here are cilia are also present. Okay, and this is pseudostratified columnar epithelium with stereocilia. Stereocilia are microvilli of long microvilli. Stereocilia are long microvilli, only present in this epididymis region. Okay, stereocilia. So here also you can see basal cells with nuclei present here, and these are the cells reaching up to the surface. Here goblet cells are not present. Cells of epithelium, so cilia on the free surface. Ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Cilia helps in removal of the mucus from the throat or from the respiratory tract. Epididymis. Epididymis you can see pseudostratified columnar epithelium with stereocilia. These are long microvilli and it is present, helps in absorption of the fluid. And pseudostratified columnar epithelium, non-ciliated, is present in the auditory tube, ductus deferens and membranous and penile urethra. Okay, so these are the location. Location of pseudostratified epithelium, very important for your MCQ, also very important for your viva. Okay, very frequently asked, because pseudostratified epithelium is present in very small, very infrequent areas. So examples are very important. See, this is the high power view of the ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelium of the respiratory tract, that is in trachea. Okay, you write it down. Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium seen in respiratory epithelium hyphen trachea. Okay, we have slide of trachea in our histolab. Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium seen in respiratory tract, trachea slide we have. Okay, understood? Okay, everyone has completed? So we have completed pseudostratified epithelium. Next we go to stratified epithelium. Stratified epithelium also is known as multi-layered epithelium. Only the basal cell layer rests on the basal lamina, and it is classified based on the shape of the cells in the surface layer of epithelium. That is important. Here basal layer of cells are cuboidal or columnar in all the three varieties. Okay, but only the surface layer of cells, they vary in shape. If the surface layer is squamous, it will be stratified squamous. If surface layer is columnar, stratified columnar. If surface layer is cuboidal, it will be stratified cuboidal. Okay, so these are the three types of stratified epithelium. And the stratified squamous is again divided into two types, keratinized and non-keratinized stratified squamous according to the surface layer. Surface layer, if surface layer is dead and it does not contain any nuclei, contain the keratohyalin granule, appears pink, it is keratinized, present in our skin. Okay, and non-keratinized stratified squamous, it is present in our esophagus. All the layers have nuclei all the layers are living. Okay, so stratified squamous epithelium, several layers of cells. Basal layer of cell is cuboidal or columnar cells. Rest on basal lamina. Nuclei of these cells are large, rounded or oval. Basal cells act as stem cells, divide mitotically and migrate to the surface cell layers. Cells above the basal layer gradually decrease in size and becomes flat or squamous. Nuclei of the superficial layer are elongated and flat. Okay, so superficial layer have flat cells. So based on keratinization or dead cell layer, the stratified squamous epithelium is further classified into these two types, keratinized stratified squamous and non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. So keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, surface cells are dead, they does not have any nuclei, appears pink in color, okay, and have keratohyaline granules. Superficial cells show keratohyaline granules in their cytoplasm, and most superficial cells are dead, they do not have nuclei. Such dead cell layer is called stratum corneum of the epidermis of the skin. Identification feature, keratinization indicates dryness on friction exposed surface. So skin is continuously having friction along with our clothes or other external pressure like this. Okay. So location of keratinized stratified squamous is epidermis of the skin, and function, it protects the deeper structure from mechanical injuries, acts as a barrier against infection, it prevents the water loss. So you write down keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, example is skin. We have skin slide in histolab. What? Huh? ক্লাস অ্যাটেন্ড করবি না? So you will not get the attendance for this class. You have to see the slides. Otherwise, it is of no help because in your exam slides you have to identify. Okay, if you want to, you can leave. Okay. Okay, so next we go to non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. It has no stratum corneum. Cells in the uppermost layer are live and nucleated. Okay, and cells become increasingly flattened as one moves towards the superficial layer. Epithelium remains always moist, and such moist epithelium with underlying thin connective tissue layer, that is called lamina propria, is called the mucosa. Okay, it is present in esophagus. You write it down, non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, lining epithelium of esophagus. See, these are the locations. Epithelium lining of oral cavity, oropharynx, laryngopharynx, esophagus, vagina, tonsil, vocal folds and cornea. These are the locations of non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. What are the function? It protects the underlying structures. It acts as a barrier against pathogenic organisms. And note, the epithelium covering the tongue remains moist, but it is exposed to continuous friction. Hence, the tongue is covered partly by keratinized and partly by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. There are papillas over the tongue. Filiform papilla has keratinized over the top, and other papillas or rest of the portion of tongue is non-keratinized. Okay. Yes. হ্যাঁ ওইএসও হয় আর ইএসও হয়, দুটোই ইউজ হয়। ওকে, you can write any of them. Okay, complete. So see here, this is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Basal cells are columnar or cuboidal. Then their multiple layers of cells are present. They are gradually becoming flattened. Intermediate cells are mainly polygonal. Surface cells are flattened. That's why stratified squamous, multi-layered cell and surface cells are flattened. That was squamous. And non-keratinized because surface cells are nuclei and they are living cells. Okay, that's why it is non-keratinized. And here you can see same thing, but surface cells are does not contain any nuclei. Okay, they are dead cell layer or keratin layer. That is known as stratum corneum, dead cell layer of the stratum corneum of epidermis of the skin, only present in epidermis of the skin. Okay. See, like this it will look like. This is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium of the vagina. All the layers have nuclei and it is extending up to the surface layer. Surface cells are flat and basal cells are, this is the basement membrane, pink line. Okay. And over it the cells are the cuboidal or columnar cells. And here this is keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Like this you will see under the microscope. Okay. This is high power view, but in low power view you can see those nuclei only. So here you can see nuclei is absent in the stratum corneum, dead cell layer. In other layers, basal layer is cuboidal or columnar, and in other layers, polygonal cells with different types of nuclei. Okay, mainly rounded nuclei. See here, several layers of cells with these dotted dots are the nuclei. Non-keratinized stratified squamous. Like this you will see in low power view. Previous one was high power. And here like this you will see keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. This is for thick skin. Okay. This keratin layer is very thick. Stratum corneum, dead cell layer without nuclei, and these layers having the nuclei. So this is the basement membrane. Above the basement membrane, this part is epidermis, and here this part is dermis of the skin. Okay. So stratified squamous we have completed. Next, stratified cuboidal epithelium. It consists of two or more layers of cells. Cells of superficial layer are cuboidal inside. Locations are important. These are asked in your viva, where the stratified cuboidal is present, where is stratified columnar is present. These are very rarely present. That's why it is as important for MCQ viva. So locations: some ducts of sweat gland, salivary gland, sebaceous gland, and pancreas. What is the function? Acts as a barrier and provide passage for the secretions. See here, basement membrane, basal cells are cuboidal. With both the cases, superficial cells are columnar here, so this is stratified columnar. Superficial cells are cuboidal here, so that is stratified cuboidal. Okay. So locations are some ducts of sweat gland, sebaceous gland in stratified cuboidal, and stratified columnar, epithelial lining of some ducts of salivary glands, fornix of conjunctiva, and cavernous urethra. See here you can see duct of serous salivary gland, stratified cuboidal epithelium. You can see the rounded nuclei present in the superficial layer. This is lumen. Okay, and basal layer also rounded nuclei is present here. But here you can see basal layer have rounded nuclei, but superficial layer has columnar nuclei and cells are elongated here. Okay, so this is stratified columnar epithelium seen in some ducts of serous salivary gland. So stratified columnar epithelium, it is a two-layer thick epithelium. Superficial layer cells are columnar, basal cells are cuboidal, rest on basal lamina. Locations are epithelial linings of some ducts of salivary glands, fornix of conjunctiva, and cavernous or spongy urethra. Function: it provides passage for secretions, acts as a barrier. See, these are the, so this is summarization of stratified epithelium, multi-layered epithelium. Keratinized stratified squamous, multiple layer, basal cell cuboidal, superficial cell flat, stratum corneum is present, non-nucleated dead cell layer. Example is skin. Non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, multiple layers, basal cells are cuboidal, superficial cells are flat and nucleated. Examples are oral cavity, esophagus, vagina, anal canal, vocal folds, cornea. Stratified cuboidal epithelium, two cell layer thick, superficial cells cuboidal. Examples duct of sweat and salivary glands. And here stratified columnar epithelium, two cell layer thick, superficial cells columnar. Examples are ducts of some glands, fornix of conjunctiva, cavernous urethra. Okay. Next is go to transitional epithelium. This is very important. Transitional epithelium counts as a short note. Okay. And also you prepare the epithelium. Classification of epithelium. You write down the different types of epithelium and their examples. Prepare as a long question or short note. Okay. Like simple epithelium, its divisions. Stratified epithelium, its divisions. Pseudostratified epithelium, its division. Its examples like this. Okay. So you prepare that part as a long question or short note, and transitional epithelium individually comes as a short note. So transitional epithelium is also known as urothelium. Transitional epithelium lines the major part of the urinary passage, hence it is also called urothelium. Appearance, cell thickness of transitional epithelium depends on stretching of the bladder, stretching of the epithelium. So in full or distended bladder, it is only 2 to 3 cell layer thick, and in empty bladder, it is 5 to 6 layer thick. Transitional epithelium has extra reserve of cell layer, that is number of cell layers decreases on stretching. Okay, you see in distended or stretched bladder 2 to 3 cell layers thick, and empty bladder it is 5 to 6 layers, almost doubling the number of layers. Okay. So basal cells are cuboidal and rest on the basal lamina. Cells of middle layer are polyhedral or pear-shaped cells. Cells of the most superficial layer are large and often shaped like an umbrella. These are umbrella cells. These are important types of cells of this transitional epithelium, umbrella cells present in the superficial layer. Identification feature: umbrella shaped cells and more eosinophilic due to presence of plaque. These umbrella shaped cells acts as a mechanical barrier so that excreted harmful substances cannot again enter into our blood. Okay. So plaque consists of intramembranous glycoproteins. Surface cells may show mitotic activity. Mitotic activity means the cells are dividing. So two nuclei in a single cell you can see. See here one mitotic activity is happening. So two nuclei in a single cell. You can see over the basement membrane. These are the basal cells. These are the middle layer pear-shaped cells, and these are the superficial layer umbrella cell. Superficial umbrella shaped cell. Okay, so transitional epithelium is lining urinary tract, renal pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, part of urethra. And note it down, in the transitional epithelium, nuclei of all the layers are rounded. That is important identification feature of transitional epithelium. In stratified epithelium, there were multi-layered cells, but the shape of nucleus was varying from basal to the apical region according to the name of the epithelium. But in transitional epithelium, shape of the cells are varying, but nuclei in all the layers, they have rounded nuclei. That's how you identify the epithelium. Okay, understood? Okay, see here, like this you will see, this is high power view actually. So multiple layers of cells, and they all of them having the rounded nuclei, prominent rounded nuclei. And superficial layer is having umbrella cells. Okay, prevent entry of harmful substance absorption from the urine into the blood. So transitional epithelium, cell layer, multi-layer. In empty bladder, 5 to 6 layers, in distended bladder 2 to 3 layers. Cells, basal cells are cuboidal, superficial cells are dome or umbrella shaped, and few binucleated cells are present. They are showing mitotic activities. Cell junctions are present, tight cell junctions, and plaque intramembranous glycoproteins are present. Locations are renal calyces, renal pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, part of urethra, up to the prostatic urethra, middle of prostatic urethra. This transitional epithelium is extending from this renal calyx. What is the function? Barrier function and protection. Okay. So these are the locations: renal pelvis and calyces of kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, part of urethra. These are the functions. It provides ability of distension to the urinary bladder, acts as a barrier because of presence of occluding junctions and intramembranous plaques. Some workers consider that all cells of transitional epithelium are attached with basal lamina through thin processes. Next we go to the, so we have completed transitional epithelium. To prepare it as a short note. Another thing is, important thing is basement membrane. Okay, it also comes as a short note. Basement membrane. What is basement membrane? From first of the epithelium, we are seeing all the cells are lying over the basement membrane. Okay, so basement membrane is a thin layer of extracellular matrix that supports the overlying epithelium. Electron microscopically, basement membrane shows two layers: superficial basal lamina and deep reticular layer. Epithelium. It has two layers, lamina lucida and lamina densa. Lamina lucida lies immediately beneath the epithelium. It contains a network of type 4 collagen fibers. And lamina densa, it is deeper layer that contains numerous type 4 collagen fibers. According to new concept, electron microscopy revealed that basal lamina has only one layer and lamina lucida is preparation artifact that is produced because of cell shrinkage. Another layer is reticular lamina. It lies away from the epithelium, just adjacent to deeper connective tissue. It contains the reticular fibers that are produced by fibroblasts, and type 7 collagen fibrils anchor the lamina densa and lamina reticularis. Okay. See here, this is lamina densa and lamina lucida, and this over which the cells are lying. Cells are attached with this basement membrane by these cell junctions, desmosomes, hemidesmosomes, and tight junctions are present. And this is the reticular lamina, reticular fibers are present. This is a picture of the basement membrane. If it comes as a short note, you try to draw a schematic diagram like this. Okay, for basement membrane. It has two layers, lamina lucida, lamina densa, and this is reticular lamina. Okay, so all these are together forming the basement membrane. And in this picture, here is the lamina lucida, this is lamina densa, and here is the reticular lamina. Okay, understood? And here is one junctional complex. It is adhering the cell with the basement membrane. So basement membrane consists of basal lamina and reticular lamina. Basal lamina consists of again two layers, lamina lucida and lamina densa. Lamina lucida do not show any feature, consist of few fine type 4 collagen fibrils and amorphous matrix. And lamina densa consists of dense network of type 4 collagen fibrils. Reticular lamina, deeper layer, lies adjacent to deeper connective tissue and contain reticular fibers and type 7 anchoring collagen fibers. What are the function of basement membrane? It helps in supporting, anchoring, helps in barrier action and regeneration after the injury. Okay, so these are the functions of the basement membrane. So you prepare basement membrane as a short note. Now these are the apical domain of cell and its modification. 3 types of modifications are there: microvilli, stereocilia and cilia. These are present near the apical portion of the cell. See, these are the pictures. Microvilli, this is stereocilia. So stereocilia are one type of microvilli. Length of the stereocilia is more than the microvilli. And these are the cilia present over the apical portion. See examples. So lining epithelium of small intestine, you can see the goblet cell, columnar epithelium. It has microvilli. Lining epithelium of epididymis, it has stereocilia are present here. And here lining epithelium of respiratory tract, you can see the cilia. Okay, here also goblet cells are present. Here pseudostratified epithelium. Here and in this epididymis also pseudostratified, and here is the columnar epithelium. Okay. Here in this picture you can see the microvilli, simple columnar epithelium of small intestine. These are the microvilli. Okay. This pink layer on the surface near the apical region of the cell is the microvilli. Here you can see section lining epithelium of epididymis, pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and these are the stereocilia near the lumen. Okay. And here you can see the cilia in lining epithelium of respiratory tract. This light pink layer over the cells, these are representing the cilia. Here also pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, so this previously it would come as a short note, this microvilli, cilia and all, but recently not coming. If you want to read, you can read them in details. Okay. This is microvilli, stereocilia and cilia. Okay. And these are the things you have to write down in your histology copy. You prepare a histology copy. Okay, take picture of these slides. Next, this slide. So you have to write it down and you have to draw the pictures I will show. And always write down the same thing. On the right side, you write the simple epithelium. On the left side, you draw the diagrams of the simple epithelium. No, not on the back side of it. Okay, they will be nearby to each other. Okay, the diagram and the writing. So you start from microscope. Microscope class has been covered. So start from microscope. After that you start drawing this. Okay, and always use pencil for those markings. See this diagram you have to draw for simple epithelium. Okay, use pink and violet pencil only for the drawing of the diagrams. And this you draw within a circle. Okay, you draw a small circle and one epithelium in each circle. Okay, understood? And to point out or writing just below the diagram, that writing will be with pencil only. No pen will be used on the drawing page. Okay, on the writing you can use pen, but on the drawing page you don't use any pen. Okay, and only for diagram you use the two colors, pink and violet, and for writing normal pencil. Okay, this is stratified epithelium, stratified squamous, non-keratinized. You write down this part on the right side and draw this diagram on the left side. Okay. So stratified squamous, non-keratinized contain basal layer of columnar cells, middle layer of polygonal cells, and superficial layer of flat cells. Okay, you draw like this. Remember the shape during the drawing. Okay. Example is mucous lining of esophagus, oral cavity, like this. This is the diagram, enlarged view. Stratified squamous, non-keratinized. Take picture of this. You have to draw this in your copy. Okay. Next, this is stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Write it down and draw this diagram. Okay. Okay, understood? Okay, so this is the enlarged view of stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. You start drawing, okay? After 1 week, I will tell you to submit the copies and copies will be checked, okay? Next, this is transitional epithelium. This is the this portion you have to write for transitional epithelium and this diagram you have to draw. The layer of cells, basal cuboidal cell, middle polygonal cell, and superficial umbrella cells. Okay, remember those things. Theory portion you remember during drawing. This is the enlarged view of the transitional epithelium. This diagram you have to draw. Okay, that's all. Any queries till now? Okay, so whatever I told you to write down, epithelium with this example, those slides have been kept there. Okay, and for transitional epithelium, ureter is there. You write it down. Transitional epithelium, ureter. Everyone write it down in your copy. Transitional epithelium, ureter slide is there in histolab. You go and see the slides. Make a queue. Okay, and only take your copies with you. Bags you keep here. Okay, this is umbilical cord. It is important for mucoid tissue, connective tissue. Okay, this you don't have to see now. We will cover it in connective tissue. Here for stomach, you see the columnar epithelium. In the sections of those infoldings, it looks like a rounded thing and middle portion is white, that is the, and it is lined by the columnar epithelium. And this is a section of the esophagus. Okay, inside there is the lumen is lined by the mucosa. Okay, mucosal lining epithelium is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. You will see the nuclei in multiple layers and the nuclei are extending up to the lumen. Okay, midline there is lumen, there is lining epithelium is present like a star shaped manner. Okay, and lining epithelium you see the multiple layers of nuclei and they are extending up to the surface. So, this is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, this is a section of the thyroid gland. Thyroid follicles you will see, rounded structures of multiple shape and sizes, thyroid follicles. Here during processing thyroglobulin is lost, so pink material will be, you cannot see, and lining the thyroid follicle you see the simple cuboidal epithelium, lining of the thyroid follicle. Okay, you see the rounded nuclei lining these follicles, that you have to note here. Okay, this is a section of the ureter. Lining epithelium, there is transitional epithelium. Okay, you will see the nuclei, deep violet nuclei, and all the layers rounded nuclei are present. Okay, so transitional epithelium in ureter. Next we go to the, this is a section of fallopian tube. Okay, see there multiple foldings are there. In fallopian tube there are not only primary folding, there is secondary, tertiary foldings are there. Okay, and these foldings are lined by simple ciliated columnar epithelium. We see the lining epithelium, elongated cells with elongated nuclei, you will see clearly here. This is also a slide of thyroid gland. Here the thyroglobulin material is present. Okay, the rounded structures are filled with pink material. The pink material is the thyroglobulin, and these rounded structures are the thyroid follicles, and these follicles are lined by the simple cuboidal epithelium with rounded nuclei. You have to note in the epithelium, and nuclei are lying in single layer. That is also important because it is a simple epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium. See in the thyroid follicles. Okay. Now here this is a section of trachea. Okay, here you will see the respiratory epithelium. On the left side, the white area is the lumen of the trachea. After that, a pink line you will see, that is the epithelium. That you have to note. It is pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium with mucous cells. Okay. After that, you can see a area with some dots, and it is mainly violet colored, violet or blue colored. That is the cartilage. Cartilage is present in the wall of the trachea. After that, you will see the muscle layer. So for this class, you just note the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. From left to right, after the lumen, the epithelium you will note. Okay. And cilia, you can see a deep pink layer over the apical portion of the cells, and you can see the elongated cells, their outline, the nuclei, you know. Okay, pseudostratified. So nuclei will be looking like present in multiple layers, but all the cells are reaching the basal layer. Okay. So see the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium for trachea. Next, this is a slide of a thick skin. Okay, it is actually not thick skin, it is thin skin, because thick skin we have over the palm and sole. Okay, palm and sole does not contain any hair, but here in the lower part you can see the epithelial lining, epidermis. Okay, epidermis, over the epidermis you see the keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Nuclei are present in multiple layers, but surface layer does not contain any nuclei. It will appear pink, and it is the dead keratin layer. Okay. After above, it is the dermis, and in the dermis you can see rounded areas with inside black material. Okay, that is sections of the hair follicles. Okay, that's how you identify skin. But for this class, you note the epithelium. Keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, slide of human stomach. Okay, stomach, there is multiple infoldings from the surface. These are known as gastric pits, and these gastric pits are lined by the simple columnar epithelium. From that slide, it is good stomach, slide of stomach. This is one good slide. You can note the columnar cells along with the nuclei properly. Okay. So you note down the simple columnar epithelium in stomach. Okay, so this is a slide of human lung. Okay, we have focused the lung alveoli. Lung alveoli is lined by simple squamous epithelium. Okay, so flattened epithelium with horizontally flattened nuclei you have to see, but in this case multiple layers are actually overlapped. So it may seem like that multiple layers are present, but only single layer is present. Okay, you note down the nuclei and the alveoli for lung slide. Okay, here you can see in the dermis there is sections of hair follicles. Okay, pink line, inside the pink there is some brownish or black structure, that is the section of hair follicle. That's how you identify it as a skin. And in the upper part, the superficial lining is the lining epithelium, or it is epidermis. Okay, cells are present in multiple layer, and it is a keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Surface layer does not contain any nuclei. Okay,